Hey guys, Coach here. Welcome to this week's podcast. Hey, I'm right in the zone right now. And that zone for me is 30 days. Here we are at the end of August 2024. Long-range forecasters for weather predict a drastic shift for me up here in zone 4. We are supposed to go from the high 70s and low 80s and tip off the edge of the scale here, off the thermometer, and drop down into the low 60s, high 50s, with lows in the overnights of low 40s to mid 40s. A drastic change in a matter of just a few days. But I bring this to your attention because for some of you like me up north, we have about a 30 to maybe 40 or so day window that is perfect for landscaping. Greenscape is what I'm basically focusing on the most. And the reason I say that is because plants do need an adaptation period and an establishment period before they get punched in the face with harsh cold temperatures, snow, ice, etc. They really would prefer that. Planting them mid to late October, and then bam, you get a 15-degree freeze up. That's hard, and chances are some of your plant investment will get lost. Now, that's for zones 3, 4, maybe 5. 5 can get maybe to Halloween, but every year is a little different. For some of you, like where I used to be out in Northern California, you had a very good 90-day window period right about now. We would go perfect times out west were probably end of September to Halloween was just primo fall planting time. However, I did have many successful jobs, very successful establishment periods, because the winter wasn't that harsh. It could get wet, it could get sloppy, but it wouldn't be overwhelmingly harsh on plants. They would just get installed in the ground as best as you possibly could with as much technique as you can muster, and then they would just winter over there. They wouldn't grow, they wouldn't do much of anything, they would just winter over. Well, up here in zone 4, we do have the propensity of getting well below zero at times, and the efforts that Maestro and I have put into this place over the last 4 months has taken it from a cabin in the woods to a home. And if you saw the overview of it from ground level, you could see some of the efforts that we've made. It's no longer a snowmobile retreat that it used to be. This is a fully functioning on the grid homestead that has all the accoutrements of coming home every day. And even though I'm here every day as a semi-retired person, I have really put a lot of effort into looking always towards winter. How will winter affect this bed? How will winter affect these plants? Everything is geared towards winter. And I think I did it. I think I got my head around it, and I think I am prepared here at the end of August, and I'm already thinking, December, January, February, March. I have to think about the beds around the garage and the house in the mindset of snow drop, snow load sliding off, sloughing off. Where's it going to hit? What's it going to do? How do I protect it? How deep a bed can I really have? And what can I put in that bed that if snow comes off the roof, what's it going to hurt? I don't want my plant investment to get smashed up. Now, we are looking at the end of August, and so for the next 90 days, if you have ever had the inkling to make it happen, now, out of all 12 months out of the year, now is the time to start getting it underway. Right now, at the end of August, If you're in zones 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, now is the time to have things down on paper. Now is the time to have a budget established. Now is the time to start sourcing your materials and having them at the ready, or people at the ready, so that when everything lines up, all the stars, the moon, the northern lights, everything else, you can pull the trigger and get that thing done before the holidays and have a beautiful new landscape before the holidays. And it's very, very possible and very probable that a lot of people can do it, but they don't. What they tend to do is they dream about it. What they tend to do is they fantasize over it. They ooh and ah and pine over things online going, oh, I wish I could have that. Oh, I wish I could have this. And the reality is fantasy will never get a plant in the ground. Dreaming is never going to be, all it is procrastination. And I didn't have the luxury of doing that. Could I have not lifted a finger here and just been okay? Well, yeah, every day I could have got up and everything would have been the same. I could have taken a shower. I could have jumped in the truck and gone to the grocery store. I could have driven down the driveway that was worn out, threadbare, and down to the original native rock substrate. I could have done nothing with the lawn. I didn't have to feed it. I could have just let it be. I didn't have to pull any crabgrass this summer. I didn't have to do any of those things. But there's a certain level of expectation I think one has for oneself, and a level or a standard that they want to live in and around. And for all of us, that scale is sliding one way or another. It's sliding up and down. And for Maestro and I, we're kind of neat freaks, and we're kind of project oriented. You know, in my mid 60s, here I am doing YouTube. It's because I can't sit around too much. I don't mind taking a day off here and there. Heck, I woke up a couple days ago and just felt like crap. I didn't get a good night's sleep at all, and I tried to get out there and do a few things. I had some hillside roses to get in and a couple of green giant arborvitae, and by the time I got those in, I was wiped. There was no more planting for me that day. And so I retired. I went inside and studied up on some other things and learned about some technique of deck building, because that may be one of the projects that I'd like to do before winter. Just a small overlook deck over the pond, another source of outdoor living. But we all have our procrastination moments, and it's a matter of, do we push through that and make things happen, or do we succumb to it and just shrug our shoulders and go, what's on the television today? What's on the computer today? How can I interact with my friends on Facebook? How can I do something other than what I really want to do, I need to do, but I just can't motivate myself? I'll tell you what, last night, which is kind of a ritual of mine, after dinner, I had a little recycling and upcycling of some brick that I made into a fire pit that overlooks the pond. And I needed to put some masonry glue down and solidify the top 3 layers. It's rock solid. But my point is that after I got that done, I always walk around and do a walkabout. I do one in the morning and I do one in the evening. And I like to see it brings a very strong sense of pride if you walk around and you see your successes and your work and your sweat equity that you've put into things, and you end your day outdoors with that in mind. And that's what I do every day. And it also gives me an opportunity to look to the next day and say, okay, what do I need to finish up? What could be the next project before winter that makes sense? And I think I did a real short video last week. I didn't have a long format video at all. And I mentioned something in that video that I later reflected back on, and I had made a box store haul off the clearance racks, and I was nipping and tucking some roses and some spirea that I picked up. And I mentioned on camera, I said, you know, this is probably the last plantings of the year. And I chuckled because it was no more than, I think, 3 days later that we went down to Lowe's, and they had some other things that I wanted to get, and I had some projects that I was doing. I did some rearranging at the house. My truck camper got moved over to where my little trailer was. My little trailer got moved down to the driveway pad next to the tractor, and now we had this whole side of the garage that was just empty. And so I wanted to decorate it up. It was kind of the last foundational plantings of the year. I say that again, see? But the gable end of the house got some decorative container plantings. I got some emerald arborvitae and some, I think it's lava flow heuchera that are planted in and around it. Looks really good, really decorates the bedroom wall that's down there. And then the foundation planting on the garage, where I had some little giant arbs and some variegated honeysuckle and viburnum. And now the place really looks finished on this side. The camper has a purposeful spot that is easily accessible for loading and unloading. And it makes things very functional, but beautification is just a natural byproduct of it. And that's what fall brings to us. It's, for me, in the landscape industry, it is not closure to the year. It is an all-out push to have some freaking fun during the best time of the year for plantings. And that's what I encourage you to think about. And that's what I encourage you to try is, if it's small, knock it out. If it's a big one, man, you really got to crank right now. You got to get some design work done and all the steps that I mentioned and I outline in detail on that 15-step DIY landscape checklist that I have on the website. You have to be able to launch, and sitting around with not dipping your toe in the pool, or that's it, you're only dipping your toe in the pool, is freaking jump in the shallow end and get it going. Because man, the next 30, 60, 90 days is just prime time. Just absolutely prime time to do some stuff. Up here right now, I'm sitting up on Moose Hill at Brook and Pond. And I say Moose Hill because I woke up, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 days ago. And as I looked out from bed, out my bedroom window, here's this ginormous cow moose up here on the hill, right on the property line. And she's looking down into the homestead. And so now I affectionately call this Moose Hill. So for the fall, greenscape-wise, I have a small planting plan right around one of the big boulders out front that I will get to this coming week when it's all cooled off. The roses are in up on the hill. They're the red chai fuss-proof roses. And they've already got new growth pushing out on them after the trim that I did last week. When I got them home and I did some feeding, there was some rudbeckia that I had in gallon cans that I shifted up from little liners, and they were just bulging at the gallon cans, and so I put them on the hillside bed. A couple of the Shasta daisies that I had there, yeah, they bit the dust. I just think that they did not like the dampness of the soil. I have like 2 or 3 that are still there, and I just don't water them anymore. I just let them be, and they seem to be hanging in there. A couple are throwing blooms, but man, 2 of them just bit it. And so I got the rudbeckia in there, and that'll be the last color that I probably put in the ground. And what else do we have? Preparation. I mean, we have preparation in the form of snowblower on the tractor is in good working order. The snowblower, the walk-behind Ariens, it has stable in the gas tank, and I'll be taking it out within the next 30 days and making sure it's going. But chances are chances are it's more of a coast right now, away from plant material and into maybe some hardscape feature, and that'll just about do it. I'll be able to kick the clutch in probably by the end of September, maybe with, if I can possibly dig it, if I could dig the footings, the piers for the deck, I might be able to get a deck in, but that's really a luxury item. I was going to use some leftover timber, some spruce poles that had come down, and I was going to try to do a shed dormer style wood pile cover. But man, when I did a test hole over there the other day, I mean, I could only get down 6 inches, and that was it. So it's either I get some pier pads or something and attach a Simpson strong tie to it and just do it above ground. Maybe you guys have some suggestions, but man, if you can't dig down, that's really the only stable way I look at building some kind of a structure is, and that's what I face with the deck, is I don't know how far down I can actually dig before it's just ledge stone again. And my excavator guy, he has a rock breaker, but he doesn't have an auger. So anyway, that's where we sit as far as brook and pond. And what I'd like to emphasize to you guys is, with the change of season that is upon us, I've got leaves that are falling already. I got fall color on some of the secondary growth on the maples, and everything is slowing down as far as growth here. But the hillside beds, the boulder bed in the backyard, I still have color on the daylilies. I've got coreopsis that's blooming. I have white phlox and its beautiful fragrance. I've got veronica that's blooming. I have some dwarf coreopsis that's blooming. I have secondary blooms on the doubleday spirea, and it looks good. It looks good. One of the things I think that has really set this place off was the whole resurfacing of the driveway and parking areas. You know, almost 55 cubic yards of stone dust gravel I spread around here last month. And once the rain hits it and washes all the little quarry fines off the gravel, it looks like my UPS driver said the other day, hey, it looks like hot top. And I've never heard pavement or asphalt called hot top, but that was neat to hear, and it was a nice compliment. Now, if I just get the FedEx guy to stop burning rubber out of the driveway when he delivers our Walmart order and leaving gravel spewed all over, I had to have a chat with him. Things will be good, but the driveway looks brand new. And because of that dark slate gray look with green lawn and super petunias down there and the driveway boulder bed still just cranking, I'm proud and I'm happy. And more importantly is I'd like to impress upon you that this is all something that you guys can do if you need to do it. And we are on the precipice of the best time of year to do it. Right now, right here, right in the end of August, you get stuff down on paper, you hire a designer, you consult with somebody, and you make plans that on whatever day in mid to late September or October or November, depending on where you're at, you pull the trigger on it and make it happen. I mean, think about the landscape return on investment. I mean, anywhere from 85 to 125% return on your investment. To have that kind of curb appeal installed, and you can do it in a matter of anywhere from 2 weekends to a month, depending on the size of project you're contemplating, that's pretty darn good. That's really, really good. And look around your neighborhood. Is your neighborhood in need of a new flagship? Maybe that flagship would be your place. Maybe that place can come about in the next 90 days. Right now, hey, Maestro and I are loving life here at Brook and Pond. We have rain coming in tomorrow, which is good. The front lawn needs some rain. I am already contemplating next year's projects because I went through the 24 landscape project tasks for 2024, the episode that I did, I think back in January, and it's two-thirds done. There's a couple of them that were just high-ticket items that I frankly just don't think we can afford right now. So we're kind of holding off on that and see what happens later on. I've got a birthday that I have to take care of in the 1st of October, and I don't know what we're going to do there. That's for Maestro. And maybe we'll get out of town for a few days. We haven't gone anywhere in so long compared to our lifestyle that we left to take over at Brook and Pond here. It might be nice to get out on the road again for just a short period of time. Hey guys, I'll leave you with that. I want to leave you with the time is now type of idea. At the very least, if you're just potting up something simple, okay, obviously this doesn't apply to you. But if you're seriously considering a front or backyard makeover in order to beautify, in order to make more functional, more livable outside, man, you're here right now. And make it happen. Get out there and look around, discuss, check out the checklist that I have created for you. Check out if you're a noob and you haven't really got your head around this DIY landscaping thing. Check out the inexpensive book that I offer on the website, and you can always email me. You can always consult with me. All of those services are available to you right on the website, and I invite you to take advantage of them. Hey, this is Coach. As always, to your landscape success, I wish you the very best, and I hope for certain that fall will be a productive landscape time for you. Catch you guys next week. Thank you very much. Bye for now.